Hi, this is Francesco Rulli. I'm the CEO of Querlo. I'm here today with the Philip Arckoll, the founder of Worklytics. Philip, if you can introduce yourself and your company, please.
Yeah, thank you, Francesco. So Worklytics is a startup. What we do is we plug into common productivity tools like Office 365 and G Suite, and we anonymously analyze how organizations are getting work done, how they function, what healthy teams look like, what good management looks like, to learn from those patterns to help organizations adapt to them and employ them across their workforce.
Very interesting, very interesting. So based on your perspective, looking at what has happened in the last few months and also looking at the future, what is your perspective about COVID and post-COVID era, and what are the challenges, but also the opportunities that you see ahead of us?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's been an unprecedented change for particularly people that are used to office work, working in offices together. We've never seen such a huge move of people all of a sudden going to work remote, away from their teams, away from day-to-day face-to-face interaction with their organizations, and that has led to rapid digital transformation. Organizations that potentially didn't have that many tools deployed, that much infrastructure, have had to adapt very quickly to these new ways of working and implications of being completely remote from a team perspective, from a leadership and management perspective, in a variety of different ways. And our data has been very useful at helping organizations understand how these work patterns have been adapting and changing. And I think some of the common issues that we're hearing about from organizations we talk to is, on the negative side, concerns about work-life balance. Are people in this new remote way of working able to click off at the end of the day? We're seeing in the data things like longer work days, people taking fewer breaks, having schedules that are crazy as they have to adapt to the loss of childcare, et cetera, things like that, but also implications to day-to-day work. And one of the interesting things we've seen is people are collaborating a lot more using digital tools. They're working a lot more with their direct teams, but they're potentially losing connections with those outside of their direct sphere of influence in the rest of the organization. So it's changing the way we work. It's changing the way we manage, the visibility that managers have inside of organizations. And I think organizations have tried to survey their workforces to get a better perspective of what those changes are, but actually looking at the data anonymously, looking at how work is changing as it gets done, is a very insightful way to understand those changes and to take advantage of them in the long run. And you asked me short term versus long term. I think short term, obviously, it was a very chaotic period, figuring out what to do in the time after the change with the sudden loss of visibility. And that chaos has kind of calmed down with time as people have gotten used to working from home, got used to coordinating remotely. And now there's sort of the longer term opportunities. What are the benefits of working in this way? You're seeing a lot of organizations with employees asking for better remote work policies, and some organizations talking about not coming back at all to the old way of working, and not having their offices be reconstituted when COVID is over. So how can those organizations plan accurately and ensure that they have healthy teams, that they're able to innovate and be as equally productive in a completely remote work future, or some sort of a hybrid remote work future? So I think there are lots of opportunities there. There's more flexibility. There are lots of benefits, but there are clear implications, and organizations need to act. And I think that what we're seeing is our data and artificial intelligence applied to it be a good way to understand what those implications are, and to plan and take advantage of the new way of working.
Excellent, excellent. And indeed, since our first conversation, this has your point of view has really influenced also the way I manage Querlo itself. So it's very interesting.
Oh, great.
Now, one more question. where do you see the role of artificial intelligence going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, more broadly speaking, there are lots of applications and in lots of spaces where it's going to be incredibly influential. But I'll talk about it more in our particular space and the work that we do. And I think one of the interesting things there is trying to understand what are the ways of working that lead to better results, that lead to happier teams, that lead to better productivity, that better overall organizational performance. It's hard to sometimes figure out what those patterns are. We have intuitions for what they might be, and we've learned over time ourselves what the right sorts of ideas are. But with all of these shifting work patterns and changes that constantly happen, how can you get to that answer rapidly as that's happening? What is the right way to manage, the best way to manage a remote team, for instance, and to ensure that people remain connected, that they don't feel lonely, they feel connected to their teams, they're able to be productive, and they're able to achieve their goals. And I think AI is a great tool to help us do that, to help us understand those changes, understand what good is, and then take those ideas and copy them to across organizations, to parts of the organization that maybe are adapting less rapidly to the changes, to help them catch up to those best patterns. And we're seeing a lot of value in doing that, a lot of interest in using AI to understand those changes. So I think that's going to be really significant, and ultimately, in the long run, AI helping in general leadership, organizations, and even individuals better understand how their ways of working and their leadership patterns, their management patterns, what impact they're going to have, how to adjust those to continually improve them and get the best results. And so we really see AI as a day-to-day assistant to help people get the most out of their time while they're at work, so they have more time to be productive, getting things done, but also more time off for work-life balance and a better quality of life as they're able to get more done when they are at work.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And if someone wants to reach out to you and to learn more about your company, your services, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, through our website, worklytics.co. You can see all the information about what we do there. You can take a look at some sample reports that we've done on work from home, COVID-19 analysis. Feel free to download those or email us at info@worklytics.co.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Great. Thanks so much, Francesco. Appreciate it.